A little bit late for the VOD. I'm well aware here, ladies and gentlemen. But here's your draft ready to go. Sham2, please walk us through it for those that weren't here because Twitch is fun.
So we've got Kael'thas and then Rhaegar, or sorry, we've got Uther, who was first picked, then Kael'thas Rhaegar by Stellar Lotus. I want to make sure they get that Kael'thas in there. Followed that was a Muradin Nova. Nova, very interesting pickup here for Hold the Fort. Stellar Lotus returned their favor of banning out the Zagara by banning out Falstad. So Walker 91 not going to get his favorite hero. And then Hold the Fort's going to ban out Jaina, not to let Stellar Lotus pick up two of those heavy casters. So Stellar Lotus says, okay, they pick up Tassadar and Sylvanas, and Hold the Fort reply with a Zebo and Butcher. Butcher with Uther going to be very, very great. I'm curious to see what type of damage you're going to be able to put out with that. And then an Arthas pickup here for Stellar Lotus, which is interesting because they see it's their last pick, obviously. It's the very last pick. So they see the Butcher. Putting the Arthas in front of that Butcher is going to be a very, very huge hindrance to the Butcher being able to get too far after that Divine Shield wears off.
All right, so on Garden of Terror, we don't get to see a lot of Nova play, at least in the tiers that we're used to. But this is, again, the Butcher kind of coming out. Hold the Fort did this once. Game number 1, where they absolutely destroyed their opponents. It was the Butcher, Uther, Muradin for their comp. They also had Nova, but I don't think they had Nazebo at the time. It wasn't Gazlo. Who was their 5th? It was Falstad. That's right.
Yes, so it's
Falstad. And Falstad is actually now banned this round. So Nazebo likely to be played out by Mr. Walker 91 there. But Hold the Fort, they're very comfortable with this comp. The big question is how well will they fare against a team with quite the reputation of Stellar Lotus?
Stellar Lotus is going to be a huge wall for them to get over, but I mean, I'm very curious to see just how everything's going to go. Yeah, okay, apparently we don't have the enemy team, or not the enemy team, the other.
The enemy team is correct, not in the lobby. Yep.
Okay.
Not.
So we'll get that very sorted out shortly. A little bit of back and forth here. It's been a crazy day, apparently.
Absolutely
Mr.
crazy day. We know that it's been a crazy day because we've been here, we've done that. It's totally happened. But going into this, Stellar Lotus is the first time I personally get to watch them in quite a while. Definitely a team that has been floating around. They were the former ESV team, picked up now by Jesse Cox, and I still think that their manager is actually Diamond. But we also have a sub in here. The Keefers himself is actually going to be joining us.
Well, not Keefers. Carl the Llama. Carl the Llama is going to be the sub.
According to everything I just read on Twitter, both of them are subs.
Oh, so a lot of subs. A lot of subs. Yeah. We could open up a sub shop. Have a hoagie or two.
I had a Subway earlier today.
I ride the subway.
I eat Subway.
I had a substitute teacher a couple of times. I actually had a substitute teacher during college.
I've never listened to Yellow Submarine by the Beatles. That's a lie, of course.
That's a subversive statement? Subversive? Am I using that right? I don't know. I'm trying to use all the sub words that I can.
These teams are not being very submissive. We're still not going.
Submissive. Ooh, that's a good one. Anyway, I'm out of words.
Are you? Okay. Are co-casters the subservience of the actual casters?
Subservient. Oh, darn it. I'm losing so hard here. Okay.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Okay. I forgive you.
But, just because we're having such crazy banter, I think we're going to need some subtitles.
There you go. You're back.
I got one! Back on the board.
All right, we're going to get this game going, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 1 of this series, Stellar Lotus and Hold the Fort, going to Garden of Terror. Welcome back to the road to Blizzcon 2015, and hopefully let us pray that all the VOD issues are now out of the way.
Yeah, let's hopefully have a very nice, clean tournament, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get on into Stellar Lotus versus Hold the Fort. I wanted to go into, hold the line there, but then I just decided to stop.
Hold! Yep, you can definitely hold a lot of things. If you recall,
always on time.
They held their forts actually for a good long time on this up against the Crimson. They nearly brought it to a 2-0, but by the end of it, they just weren't able to hold. And Gazlo was a big factor in those games. No No Gazlo today. We'll have
No
Gazebo, though.
Gazlos, thank God.
You don't like
Thank
the Gazlord?
heavens. I am not a fan of the boss of Ratchet.
No, Kiefer's actually isn't a sub anymore. I don't know why he
Told you
tweeted saying he's
I
subbing
was
in that.
thinking that.
Hmm.
Anyway, let's get on into this game. We've got over here on the left-hand side, a Stella Lotus. We got Toe Jam and Earl Kiefers, War Greymon, Nightmare, and Carl the Llama.
Carl the Llama. Dear friend of mine. Walker 91 is actually going to be on that Nazebo into the top lane. Darbenson and Lord Veos into the mid. And looks like Sorello and Bandit once more here for Hold the Fort. Hold the pickle on that subway. Hold the fort in this game. We're going to have to see how well they do up against a team that more or less has a pretty meta comp this time.
Yeah, this is a little bit better than the couple of drafts that we've seen from them. So I'm a little bit more impressed to see how they're actually playing this game. The Nova, of course, is the only thing that really sticks out here, but we do see a Nova from time to time from other teams. In fact, we've seen Tuark, I think, run Nova quite a bit here and there. So it's not that incredibly out of order.
Man, just not hitting all the right buttons there today. There we go. The overlay is now in and ready to go. Walker 91 up against War Greymon. I mean, that's going to be a little bit of a power of a push. Nice catch there from Keepers into the mid, but it doesn't look like it will actually result in a kill yet. Butcher is actually being left to his own devices against Nightmare bottom.
Yeah, and he's trying to go for that brand and trying to get some of that healing back. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. Nightmare was very smart, backed up very, very quickly as soon as that brand went down. And it looks like he's going for the charge. No, actually went for the charge on the creep, very interestingly enough.
And so far, again, like Bandit just doing that Victuals build.
Yes, he does like to pick up a lot of the buffs to the trait Fresh Meat, which is an interesting way to play Butcher, but we still really haven't, filled out exactly how the best way to play Butcher is just yet. I mean, we see a lot of different ones that go for the hamstring build and then just kind of different mixes up around that. Oh, Bandit taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, Butcher as a laner doesn't really give me a lot of confidence here, especially up against the Tassadar. You just shield every time you charge in. You're not really going to be taking a lot of permanent damage, and you can easily return there with that Psy Storm. So Walker 91 into the top is going to be looking to get some of those seeds on his side already. War Greymon has finished up on his part. He's just going right back and pushing that lane. The rest of everyone from Stellar Lotus, they might be looking for a congregation top.
Yeah, they are starting to have about 4 members up here in the top section of the jungle. And yeah, it looks like they are going to go straight for that terror. Already about a level over their opponents, 4-3, without even getting any kills. That's just the power of very, very calculated soaking.
And with that level 4, as he said, I mean, it's clearly working out for them. Something to note is that once again, we have an Arthas, but it's not being played out by Crimson this round. It is actually going to be the Stellar tank this time. And with that Regen Master, the Frozen Waste, already, again, a different build than what we've been seeing in our past games.
I feel like Arthas is just one of those really great heroes when you have a team that's going to be engaging upon you. And when you have a Butcher, an Uther, a Muradin, those are 3 members of a team that are definitely going to run straight on into your backline. And having that Arthas there with his Frozen Tempest, with his Howling Blast to stop and slow people, that's really a great pickup here for their team. Oh, they can keep keepers up and in the game.
Can anybody pause?
Wow. Whoa, actually, I just realized
anybody pause?
all of Stellar Lotus just got completely disconnected.
Is this going to be a forfeit win?
That was weird.
Oh, thank God, Carl the Llama's still in the game.
Well, I'm glad they have a sub.
Jeez. That would have been... Wow. Like, hello?
Hello, team. Can you imagine? Can you imagine Carl the Llama saying that?
What would even the rules be if all 5 of them dropped and Hold the Fort had won because the game ended in 5 seconds?
Well, nobody would be able to pause. But
right.
I guess there would be some.
But it would have been a victory. What do the rules actually say about that?
Probably would assume that the rules would say they would just redraft and replay.
At 3 minutes in?
Yes.
Really?
At 3 minutes in, it's not a huge change. If it was like 10 minutes in and they all dropped, maybe. But it looks like they're going to start getting this game ready to go.
Whew. That was something, I'll tell you that.
Welcome back.
All right, so we're all back into this game. That was
scary.
I've seen that happen. That's the problem with, I guess, having... I'll rejoin the game.
And there they are.
Having everybody in a team house, if there's a little bit of internet issues.
Yeah, I've never seen that before. Never seen that happen.
I don't know.
All right, Bandit bottom. He was actually pushing up with some of those mercs. He has been actually doing a lot of solo merking in every lane that, or every game that we've seen Bandit on that butcher. He has tried to do as much as he can. Jam and Earl, though, I mean, they got those gates mid. Looks like they're going for the gates top. A full level advantage going their way. So far, early game is being won out pretty handily by Stellar Lotus.
Yeah, they're doing a pretty good job here. They've got all their talents coming in for level 7 as well. Nothing too crazy is sticking out here. Static Charge on the Tastadar, but backing that up with Mental Acuity and Conjurer's Pursuit. So he's going for more the utility with a little hint of damage in there. And then we're also seeing the Sylvanas. After her last couple of changes, she's now started to pick up Shade Form at level 7 instead of the Unstable Poison. And Venom's still getting picked up, and Barb Shot as well. Bandit looks like it's going to be a death in the bot lane. Stellar Lotus is going to take second blood there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there was a death on Stellar Lotus when they got DC'd.
Oh, was there?
Yes.
Oh.
They lost War Greymon.
Oh, okay. I didn't even notice that part. Of course, the notification didn't stick around there either. But War Greymon is, still doing really good things into the top. It does look like it's going to be a Mirrodin gank, but it will not come to pass. And already now with one tear under their belt, Stellar Lotus, they kind of break and go back into the other lanes. And we have some Merc pressure now coming out. Not only bottom, but soon to be top.
Yes, and a great time. Look at this already. We can see that the team for Hold the Fort is completely split up. They're all mostly in the top lane. So this leaves a Nightmare completely able to push this bot lane with these bruisers. And the towers are almost completely out of ammo. So they will take out one of those towers. And probably going to be a second one of these towers. And that's going to hit them level 9.
So again, like Butcher, he just actually likes to go off and do a lot of these camps. We saw it on Battlefield of Eternity. He's now doing it here. It's forcing the Zeebo into the bottom lane, which is, he was actually top this entire time. And now because of that lack of presence and the Stone Bros just tossing those stones, it is going to be level 10 to 8 for the advantage. Bandit will find Rhaegar, but it's heroics for Stellar Lotus. They need to back off.
Yeah, they do. There's no way you can engage against the level 10 team when you're only level 8. And so they will just have to let this night phase kind of pass and hope that there's going to be a morning where they will still be surviving and at least alive. Gonna have that War Greymon jump up from the other side. And they're gonna have a little bit of a scuffle around this boss right now. But again, there's those heroics up there. Bandit coming in from the backline. Looks like he's going to go straight in there on War Greymon. I don't know if this was a good decision. There's a gravity lapse immediately on Bandit, and he's going to pick up a kill, a second kill, as Uther falls as well.
Yeah, so 2 more kills. Level 11 to 8. That's going to be the second tear. We need 2 more seeds. Walker 91 is just not going to be able to dunk those down. He's not going to go for that big tear in the bottom either, with Nightmare just continually harassing him out of this one. Darbinsan's going to be coming in, but here comes the rest of Stellar Lotus as well. Walker 91 wants the seeds, but he's not going to get them.
Oh, he actually might get more than just seeds. He might meet his maker. He's going to be able to walk away here, but still, 2 seeds, not a ton to really grab, but Nightmare gonna pop that Mental Acuity, that Oracle, and that's gonna allow Vios actually. I can't believe they let Vios walk up and forward into that. That's a Nova. It's an easy pick up there because it's got no escape. But picking up 2 seeds, that's gonna allow them to picking up a couple of those seeds, gonna allow them to get that Terror.
Level 12 to 9. We're actually, if we hit this 13 talent before we hit level 10 for Hold the Fort, they are going to be looking at a very disadvantageous position because, I mean, that's 2 talent tiers that they have to fight against, including the heroic tier.
That's the heroic tier, of course, is the most scary of those, giving you that R ability, the 4th ability in your belt, or 5th if you have one of those activatable traits. But yes, you're quite right. It's a very, very scary point to be in.
It is going to be the 13-10 instead, so they did actually hit that heroics. Walker 91 into the top. We actually have Bandit up there as well. And if there's 2 people not defending up against this plant tear, not going to get any value out of that precision strike either there from Lord Veos. This is now already the gate gone. There's probably going to be a few kills here. Lord Veos, well, that was actually the clone, but I mean, still so much zoning potential with the Kael'thas. The run-in from Bandit is just not going to get any kind of big value. Darbinsan actually might even drop here as well.
Yeah, very, very scary engagement for them. They ran with the Butcher in, but unfortunately there was just a little bit of a disconnect with the rest of the team. And not only that, but they're going up against a 3-level advantage team at the point. But by that time, they did hit level 11. But, you know, they're trying to walk around and pick up a couple of forts, but I just don't think they're actually going to be able to even survive this game. 8-minute, 40-second game.
Walker91 got that top fort. He is actually the guy pushing here for hold the fort. And in a game that only took 9 minutes to win, that is a very different pace than what we're used to. But Stellar Lotus puts up the first win in this best of 3 with their second plant terror. This might be the fastest game that we've actually seen all weekend.
This might be the fastest game on Garden of Terror I think I've ever seen. I don't think I've seen faster than that. I might have seen 9 minutes. No, I think I saw like a 7:31.
8:52. That's actually a ridiculously fast game. Level 14 to 11. It's, well, not going well. I mean, we saw that the early game clearly favored Stellar Lotus. They had the soak, they got a few kills, they had a plant terror, now into a second plant terror, and at the end of it, as you said, 3-level advantage. It was only 5 kills in the game, but because of the lack of soak and the pressure, just really made a difference.
And that shows you really the depth of Heroes of the Storm. To put it in a way, it's you know, a good member of the members here for Hold the Fort. They're, you know, somewhat highly ranked, some not so much, but they just absolutely had nothing close to the amount of understanding and mechanics that even one of the lower ranked teams in the North America can easily do. And we can see that in this game. 8 minutes and 50 seconds. That's a lot of expertise showed right there.
Absolutely. So Stellar Lotus, a very quick win. This just means that we're going to get very quickly now into game number 2 as they go up against Hold the Fort. That looks like the drafts are just about to be made. So we're going to take a quick break, set up. It does look like everything else has settled down, so double plus good there. Let us pray that everything will stay the way it is. We'll see you guys in a few minutes here with game number 2 of Stellar Lotus up against Hold the Fort here for the July Road to BlizzCon qualifiers. Stay tuned.